Let's give them something to talk about. I see the energy running out. I got a planet to run around. Okay. You ain't do nothing but run your mouth. No, I don't want to be humble now. You doubted me, nothing to talk about.
We can get the comments fired up right away by telling people we're going to take it off Facebook.
Just go right to
So
it.
if there's anybody on Facebook,
I mean, how many people are actually watching it on Facebook now? I know there's a few.
I don't know. Hey Corey. So so if we take it off, all I wanted to do is we could focus it all on YouTube,
On
and
the
we can
YouTube channel,
help
yeah.
boost our viewerships on YouTube if we have it on one.
And it's only in our community group too.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not like it's on Facebook all over the place.
Right.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah, so that's a good point. So maybe we don't, because it's not all over Facebook,
It's like a special thing for for our members.
right?
Exclusive
Corey,
access.
This is great. I am just yes, our aging community does, Corey. Do you have one of the things about our community is it's aged. Is we're 17 years now affiliate, but a lot of our community have been here that entire time, and they've all aged. So they started in their maybe late 30s, some in their late 30s. They're now close to 50 years old, and so Facebook is their thing. Facebook was the big thing back then when we got started.
That's right.
Remember, it was the only thing. There wasn't an Instagram when we started our affiliate.
No,
Corey,
there wasn't.
Hey, Facebook's coming back. You listen to Gary Vee. He says Facebook is coming back. So.
Is that what he says?
That's
That
what
Gary
he
Vee says? Oh God.
It's coming back for its second run.
I know.
Second win.
I'm cracking up. Have you guys tried Threads yet? Do you have a Threads
I
account?
haven't.
Okay, so I did a Threads account,
Okay.
which is the new Twitter that Zuckerberg
That's the
started.
Facebook thing, right?
Oh yeah, it's
Instagram.
the Instagram version.
Okay.
And it's interesting. It looks like Twitter, but it acts like Instagram.
Mhm.
And you can go on and you can retain all your followers from Instagram, but it's literally just the content on it right now is just all regurgitated stuff from Twitter and Facebook and
sure.
Instagram.
Right.
And now I looked at it again this morning. I was like, this basically is just Instagram. It's like a condensed version of Instagram in a thread version. I don't know. Good luck. There's apparently 100 million people signed up, but I align that to all these wannabe influencers that are trying to be first to market. Oh, if I go over there and I'm first there, I'll get a huge following.
Right.
But so far, I don't know. It's not impressive. But it is. It's as Corey said, it's Meta's version of Twitter, and he's just doing it because he perceives everybody being pissed off at Twitter, and I think Twitter actually is better now that
Elon.
Is it just fueling the fire for the fight?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, that's. Oh, you can't delete your threads without deleting your ink. Oh, that's terrible.
Wow, that's aggressive.
That's actually kind of scary.
Yeah, that's aggressive.
I better not gonna go.
It's on the internet.
I've made 3 posts on Threads. Let's go.
Watch what you say.
I better go back and watch what I say.
Good information.
So James Cooper's on today with us. That's who the other guy is in here.
Yep.
And our studio came into the studio, which is awesome. Thank you for doing that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's nice to not have to look at the screen.
No, seriously.
Yeah. And he's going to talk about his adventures into owning an affiliate and purchasing an affiliate. And it's a very colorful story. It has, as I was talking to a couple of people out in the gym about you coming on, I'm saying, man, there's so much I can unpack there with that whole acquisition. Like, it's literally like the most interesting story of an affiliate ownership and acquiring an affiliate that I've ever heard.
Right.
But then James, of course, gave me some stipulations as the things he can and cannot discuss according to his attorney.
That's awesome. I love it.
I'm already like, I'm gonna keep going until I see him sweat. I can see him. He's on the other side of the room.
That's right.
And when he has to start getting the sweat out of his eyes, that's when I'll stop asking questions.
It's extra hot in this room. I don't know.
It's really good. It's a great story, and it's one long-term story. And then, but before we get into that, I want to talk about the hot topic. I do want to do a little bit of clickbait topic.
Mm.
and ask you guys your opinion on. There's two things that everyone's talking about. One, the cuts at the games,
Right.
and then the other one's the grips, and the belts.
Oh man,
the grips and belts. I want to talk about that one because I do have an opinion on it myself. But they're cutting down to 20, and then, or no, they're cutting down to 30 and then to 20, not below 20. Are you guys fans of the cuts or not fans of the cuts?
I dig it personally. I think it's great because then it allows you to showcase the best. You know, if you're worried about the cuts, then you need to be training harder around the year.
Okay.
Right. I personally love cuts. You know, there were years we were there.
Yeah.
We experienced what that felt like.
Yeah, it was painful.
Really hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. You know, seeing one of our favorite athletes, you know, in CrossFit, right? Not make that cut.
Yeah, Alessandro Piccioli.
And especially where the cut was.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, like, because that particular cut was on the sprints, right? And then you have the lift right afterwards, the next event, and the same day.
Felt so wrong.
I mean, if anything, they should have, like, if you're going to test that sprint event, you should also test the clean event in order to see who's going to move on to that next day.
Right.
That's right.
It would have been completely different.
Well, for her, right? It would have moved her up significantly.
Oh yeah.
And she was sad because she was really looking forward to that.
Ooh.
That's an event she could win. She could get an event win.
Yep.
That, and there, leading up to that event, there was really no test of strength leading up to that point. I mean, you had the snatch event with the rope climb and the run, but that was like the limiter for a majority of the field.
Right.
It didn't really test strength. So I think they missed the boat on that year.
So I feel like with a stipulation, if they do it well, if they make the cuts appropriate, you know, we've tested a few different things, you know, broad time and modal domains, you know, and actually testing variants. And then I think, it's cool. It's great.
I agree. It's tough. Now, one of the reasons I think why they cut before the strength competition is because of the style of the strength competition.
From the timing aspect?
Well, yeah, from timing aspect, right? So if you go down to like 3 platforms, right, or you just have 3 platforms or 5 platforms even, it becomes very difficult to get 40 athletes.
But they had one platform.
They had one platform. That's remember that?
They have a lot of equipment there.
Yeah.
They could have had 3 platforms.
Yeah, they could have.
I mean, it's just like how they did the sandbag clean.
Well,
I mean, granted, that was Boz's thing that year, but
I think what's lost on a lot of CrossFitters, though, and I agree. That's like, so they were looking at it from a time thing, right? So we can do this single platform thing, which is really cool as a showcase.
It is beautiful.
But it is tough to get 40 athletes through that.
Yep.
But I think one thing that's lost on a lot of people is the incremental cost of having more athletes, especially in the Coliseum format. Is you run more heats, you have to have more volunteers, you have to have more media people, longer hours. Overtime is just crushes you. And I estimate that the games probably are about, I think the number I kind of rough penciled was like $30,000 to $50,000 an hour to run the games. And when you take if you can take out 10 athletes and cut out, several hours of broadcast or several hours of just kind of time, you've saved a significant amount of money. And I know that they're under financial supervision. I don't even want to say necessarily constraints, but they're under financial supervision. And so cuts, I think, are a good way to increase the competition level. And then also save maybe a good chunk of change.
Yeah, for sure.
And you think about too, like if they have so many heats, it kind of does put like a limit on how big the test is going to be, or maybe how many tests they're going to have at that point. And I mean, I'm for cuts. I think it's good, but like you said, I think the way they do it is really important.
No, I'm for it too. The way they do it, they get, like James said, cover broad time and modal domains before you get there as much as possible. And that's fairly easy to do.
Yeah, really
they did it brilliantly the year they had the international athletes come in.
Event?
Yeah, remember the very first event.
The first event was good, but it was that second cut. That was
I understand. But that first event,
that was a great workout for
basically took out the people that weren't strong.
Yeah. And skilled.
And skilled. In one workout. Like you just kind of got it all.
Yeah. And the run. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, that was probably one of my favorite games events that they put out there.
Yeah.
It was just so well-rounded overall.
Right. And that's the cool thing about having something, a parameter that you must include all of these extra. That's kind of harsh, but include other people that normally wouldn't have been at the games.
Right.
We can
Country
include them.
representation.
Exactly. We can include them. We can do all this. And so to be able to make it work and still make progression happen, the cut to happen, those little boxes that have that we have to be inside of. It's really cool when something works out well like that, I think.
Yeah. We had 2 athletes,
3
that was including Alessandro.
Two athletes.
But we had 2 athletes essentially that qualified as a result of that. Payam for Iran, and then Laura Erlang for Namibia. And they both had an amazing, and they only both had Payam and Laura both had one event. Payam almost made it through.
He was close.
He was close.
But both had an awesome experience.
And they were smiling. I go back and I look at those videos that got to take, and they're smiling almost the whole time. They're just so glad to be out there.
And the other athletes, what was really cool about that whole thing, because they went to the athlete dinner, and they made them mix up the tables and sit with these athletes that were representing their countries as the fittest. And they said all of the athletes were super welcoming, they never felt like outsiders.
Right.
That's cool.
It is really cool. It's a real kind of a CrossFit thing. So, but we don't have to keep them around till Sunday.
No, I think
they stopped.
In some ways, it's kind of painful.
All the athletes, all the athletes stop being nice after Friday anyway. Then it's the game on.
We're no longer friends.
And those that are probably in that first heat.
That's the one thing I see online. I see everybody talking about it. Oh, they it's expensive to go there. They earned it. You want to test them all the way through. And I'm
thinking, their swag.
Okay, that's fine. Then you sit in the stands when those heats are going, because I've been there.
That's very true. It's quiet.
It's quiet in those first 2-3 heats. Everybody waits, and all of a sudden there's also, hey, why is it so freaking busy in here? And the same thing online. You see viewership go from a few thousand all the way up to 50,000. By the time you get to that last.
Why aren't they
heat.
announcing in that? Well, I mean, that's expensive once again.
To
have an announcer there the whole time.
The announcer's exhausted.
That's a lot of information to have to retain.
Holy crap!
Every athlete from heat 1.
Yeah. So did you see the thing on the grips?
Yes, for sure.
Which was kind of funny. CrossFit screwed it up. It's like, but having produced content like I do with my weekly email, and then I read the email, I'm like, oh crap, I can't believe I put that out, and I reread it twice. I know how that stuff happens.
Me too.
But someone pointed out, I forget whose podcast I was listening to. It was I think it was the Talking Elite Fitness one, and Tommy Marquez was talking about how people come out and they've got these grips that literally look like Wolverine. These big ones. And I didn't realize it. They'll wrap the leather all the way around and then hook grip it with their thumb.
So they're basically holding onto it with their wrist versus their grip.
Right.
Yeah. And so yesterday I did a workout. We did the Masters workout, and we had chest bar pull-ups in it. And when I get fatigued on chest bar pull-ups, usually I drop off and I get back on the bar. Well, with the grips,
you can hang on.
I can hang on because I can feel it on my wrist.
Yeah.
And Hiller said that too, because he's got a zillion pull-ups in him and toes to bar in him. He said he's like 10 to 15% better with those grips.
Yep.
And if you have really long ones, they also, I noticed, someone told me this, is that they put a fold in it.
So it's almost like turning into a little dowel.
Yeah, it's almost turning just like the gymnastics grips. Well,
which is why they're probably trying to shorten the straps.
Yes. Which is why they're trying to shorten. Yeah. And so, but I think, and it's been started to say, is just like get rid of the grips altogether. And I
agree with that.
I think I do too.
I agree with that.
I love it. So I train with our members, and just in general, we've been training people for 10 years, in our garage, and having like small groups, 15 people in the garage, training with us. And I tell them all the time, like, leave your belt at home.
Yeah.
Leave your knee sleeves at home, leave your grips at home. Like, I want you to be able to do this from nothing. And, the benefit of those things is great. But I mean, I think for training purposes, awesome. Keep your grip, because you don't want to lose that. You don't want to tear.
You don't want to rip your hands up.
I completely get that. When it comes to games time, it'd be great if a few events, no grips allowed, no extra tools.
Yeah.
Let's see you raw. Let's see what you can do raw,
And if you tear, like, that just means that you weren't fully prepared.
You weren't fully prepared.
Right. Like, cause I mean, I'm one that I used to wear wraps when I'm doing like 100 plus, gymnastics movement patterns
Right.
in the gym.
Right.
But when it comes down to competition, I want to feel the bar. I want to know where my grip is on the bar. And there's been many times in here where maybe it's an open workout and you see somebody using the wraps, and you can literally see their hands starting to like slide. And every time they regrip because of the strap, try taking it off and see if you can hang on to the bar better. And then all of a sudden their bar muscle ups come back because they're not slipping off the bar.
Right.
So I think they should get rid of it, or at least have an event where it's like, hey,
exactly. Yeah.
One of the original concepts of CrossFit is really that it's
prepare for everything and anything.
Yeah, prepare for anything and anything.
The unknown and unknowable.
And so whether you're in it, and mostly you think about it was mostly for military, police, fire, special forces. And all I can think of is like, the guy that's like hanging from, a bridge and his buddy's about to help him. And he's like, hey, do you got your grips on?
Yeah.
Here, put these on.
Or, hey, I got to pick somebody up. Wait a minute. I got to grab my belt.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
not being very prepared.
No.
Right.
The cop that's chasing the bad guy and he goes to jump the fence. Wait a minute.
I get my running shoes.
I'm going to put my grips on. So I can get up on a good grip on.
Yeah. Now, I've never competed at the games like you guys have, right? So I have a different perspective, but I'm constantly thinking about that same exact thing.
Yeah.
Being prepared for anything. I tell people all the time, like, if you get hurt in the gym, and my sports rehab background, I tell people all the time, like, oh, I got hurt at CrossFit. Oh, I got hurt, because my coach XYZ. I'm like, no, you got hurt because you suck at life. You got hurt.
In most cases, that's
right.
That's the
you got
situation.
hurt because you were sitting at a desk all day, and then you come into the CrossFit gym, think that you can just, no, you didn't prepare for this properly, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing is true, I think, with extra things like grips and things like that. Like, I want you to actually be prepared. Yeah, exactly.
Knee sleeves. I need my knee sleeves or elbow sleeves.
All of it. Those are great. They have a place. They are an awesome tool to help you improve, but prepare for.
In a lot of cases, it turns into a crutch too.
It can,
right? Like it's you get so comfortable with using this tool or this assisted tool,
right?
And then when you don't have it, all of a sudden, here's your qualifier. Here's your reason why you didn't do as good. I didn't. My strap broke on my.
I went through a phase where I wasn't using any of that stuff. I was kind of like, I just tired of having that stuff carrying in my bag. I just want to go out and CrossFit.
Yeah.
And I've kind of slowly leaked back into now where I got grips, I've got belt, and I've got knee sleeves, and
that's okay.
But I think I'm this as a result of this podcast, this one right here.
nice.
I'm gonna start going with it. I think it's called raw, right? Where you go raw.
Right.
I'm gonna do CrossFit raw.
Nice.
I mean, goat tape. Or athletic tape. Like tape your thumbs. If you really need worry about your grip, then you can make a little strap out of the goat tape.
So that's what I was thinking, right? Or you can make
natural
grips. Or by the victory grips, right? Which are tape. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's just tape on your hands. That way, I'm all right with that. Yeah. It's pretty much the same still.
I am curious to see what's going to happen, because I know there is a little bit of speculation with like the straps and how the grips are working. Like, is there going to be a thick bar or some kind of an axle, like a pull-up bar or something, which would play a factor?
So remember they had which was really cool, with that had the log bar muscle ups.
Yep.
There were some people that still had grips on for those, which I was shocked, because I'm thinking, man,
it's even more.
It's even more. But they're and I can't imagine there was much of an advantage there. But
yeah,
I think they're just so used to having something on their hands, they've had to have something on their hands.
I just feel like it would get in your way.
Right.
You always see him messing with it, and like that's one thing. Don't get distracted when you're in the middle of something like that.
Right.
So James, when did we first start talking about acquiring an affiliate? You and I, when you called me for consultation,
right?
This consultation on acquiring an affiliate. When was that?
So that would have been, I think it was
a year ago,
April or May of last year.
May of last year, April, May is when you. Now James has been part of Diablo. He's in our Diablo community for many years.
A lot of years.
Almost 10 years. Yeah.
I was gonna say,
wow. As a member with his wife, his kids would come.
Yeah.
And then he did a ton of videography for us. He's a bodywork specialist as well. There's a couple of Diablo members that still see you for that, even though you moved away.
Right.
And do you come here to the Bay Area? Do you come here to the Bay Area for that?
I used to, and it's only for 2 clients.
2 clients. You're a champ.
Yeah, they're the kind of people that they supported me during COVID when I wasn't allowed to do it anymore.
Right.
And I was unfortunately not as brave as you are. I'm a little bit of a rule follower, and they kept threatening my license. We're going to take away your license.
Yeah. Well, so that's,
when
that's
they start threatening your license, that's going to put a different fear in there.
And mad props to like you, hairstylist, same thing. And then like Mike Williams here, who owns a restaurant here, they immediately threatened his alcohol license.
Right.
They leveraged the alcohol license, and that's a death blow for
sure,
for any business.
That's where the profit is.
Yeah. And so no, I don't know that I would have been able to withstand that kind of pressure, because that's like that's basically taking everything away from you.
They would take away my board license, right, and then take away business license, both. So it's like, I can't, I can't do that. Yeah.
But anyway, so he's been at Diablo, and then he moved to
Vacaville.
To Vacaville.
Yep.
And then contacted me last year because the affiliate there, North Vacaville, was the owners were getting out of the ownership business and wanting to sell. And so we talked about, how to price a deal so that James could get into it.
Yeah.
And still satisfy those owners.
Right.
And that process went for about a month.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yep.
And the offer that I suggested to James was to give them, and because I've purchased an affiliate before and sold an affiliate, I suggested a down payment and then the remaining amount in installments.
Right.
Which I highly recommend if anyone's thinking of acquiring an affiliate. And the reason why you would do that is you give the owners a little bit of cash, but then you make them payments based upon, well, you can set a payment plan, however you want to set the payment plan, but the owners that are giving up the affiliate are incentivized then to make sure that the transition goes well and that the affiliate stays open. Because the biggest concern with acquiring an affiliate is that you immediately lose your membership base,
right,
which is your entire income stream,
right.
If you pay full amount up front, it's really kind of a danger, because you can't tell how much. It's really hard to gauge how attached a community is to the owner of the affiliate. And the fastest way to determine that is to go in and buy one, and then you'll figure out if the owners leave, what happens to all the
right.
The other thing is just the act of an acquisition, a transfer of ownership, creates anxiety with the community. And if they're already on the fence about paying, or they haven't been coming enough, that's an excuse for them to leave.
Right.
And I don't like giving members excuses to leave.
Right.
They've got enough that they concoct themselves. Don't need to add one more to it.
Right.
So that's why I like the payment plan model. But James lost out on that deal. I thought we had a pretty good offer.
We were pretty solid, and they were excited about us because they know that we have a passion for CrossFit.
Right.
They understood also, because I helped introduce them to you too,
right,
trying to help them just improve what they were doing before we even were going to purchase it from them, right? And so to me, they understood that we actually cared about the gym, and we asked them every time. We were like, hey, is the goal to make the most money, or is the goal to keep this gym alive? And so that was just always what we were going based off of. And so they were excited about us, and they said that we were the best, their favorite offer, not necessarily the best financially for them, but we were their favorite offer. And then another couple came in the very day that we were actually going to sign papers, right? They came in the very day.
I didn't know it was
Wow. And so they had a great heart too. Their intention, same thing, was to keep the gym alive and thriving was their goal.
Yeah.
And so they had phenomenal intentions. It didn't work out for them the way that they were hoping for.
Right.
And just, that's foreshadowing that you had there, talking about membership potentially leaving if the owners leave. Right. And or the previous owners leave. And because their deal was not structured the same way that our deal was going to be,
right,
it actually made it I think a little bit easier for that to happen. And when the fallout did happen, which it did, it was rough on everybody. Almost half the membership left and went to a new gym. And it was the gym that the previous owners were at. And so it's just really tough, and I'm not going to talk about anybody's sides on things.
That's the stuff we want to get into, though, James.
Okay.
No.
So here's,
I'm just twisting your arm.
Here's all what I will say. The members don't fully know what all actually happened.
Well said.
And I think that you can't possibly know all of it. And if you do know all of it, that's a problem. That's actually not healthy.
That's true.
Right?
Good point.
There's a difference between what owners know, what coaches know, and then what everybody else knows. Right? And we should be proud that the owners aren't telling you everything, all the negatives, all the hardships that they're experiencing. You should be proud that the coaches are shielding you from what's going on behind closed doors, because that's really not what the members need to be involved in. They need to be involved in, this is the best hour of my day. This is what I'm here for. This I'm here to get fit. I'm here to stay healthy. I'm not here to hear everybody's drama, right?
Yeah. And
I think that that's something that I'm proud that we are working hard on. The owners, previous owners that we purchased from, that they're working really hard on that too. And I really hope for the most success for the new gym that has started since all the drama that did happen. I pray and hope for them to have the most success possible. I want their members to be very happy, and I want them to be connected with them, right? That's who they're connected to. Stay connected. That's huge. We're in a world now where we had separation from people for a long time. I'm not for everybody. I know what I want, and I'm a little bit like Craig in that I don't really hold my opinion back, because I think it's important for people to know where I stand on certain things. But it's not my goal to keep everybody for me. That's not what I want. I know that, this new gym it's great for those people that want to be there. Our gym is great for the people that want to be here with us. But if you don't feel right being here with us, it's okay. Go ahead. I'm not going to be offended. It's okay. So, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And
one of the things that I've said a lot about affiliate ownership is that community, the amazing community that CrossFit that results from within a CrossFit affiliate. Yeah. And even within CrossFit, the entire community, it's really remarkable, but it can be a double-edged sword.
Yep.
And it can be a double-edged sword because you build very strong relationships. The owners and the coaches build strong relationships with the customers.
Right.
Unlike many businesses, right?
Yeah.
There's some that probably are like it. I compare it a lot to a church. So you get these strong relationships. And so then if the coach leaves, or the coach has drama in their lives, or the owner leaves, or the owner has drama in their lives, it affects the community.
Right.
If the community has drama, it affects the coaches and the owner.
That's right.
And so you have to walk a very fine line.
Right.
And there always has to be some separation.
For sure.
But it's okay to have deep personal, like Yvonne and I, like some of many of our best friends are here within this gym. And I know that if there was, some reason we had to leave or go, it would be very difficult for this community, be very difficult for us.
Yep.
But that's where the owners themselves, when they transition, when they sell the business, you'd like to think that you could just, have this, build up this business, get it comfortable, get a comfortable membership going, and then be able to just transition it. You'd like to be able to transition it as an owner. You'd like to be able to do it, and then, essentially have something for all that you've done over the years. But the reality is you have to help that process.
Right.
More so, and I think the more community that you have, the more relationship you have, the more owner, the more the previous owner needs to help with the transition process. But I also strongly believe, and this is, and I know this didn't happen at your affiliates, that the owner has to take a back seat or even step away completely and allow that to happen. Because as long as they're there, you know, I think it makes it much more difficult.
Right.
It's like rip off the Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rip off the Band-Aid.
Rip off the Band-Aid.
Right. The owners that we purchased from June 1st of this year actually have done that very, very well.
Yeah.
I greatly appreciate that.
I know them well.
And
they're good people.
They're such good
Actually,
people.
let me tell you, it's like all 3 owners
Right.
of that gym all care deeply about CrossFit
100%.
and their community.
Right.
I know that for a fact.
100%. That's so true.
Yeah.
So true. Yeah. And it's just like you said, it's just having the ability to fully let go, which is not easy to do. It's like your child.
Yeah.
Man, how do I let this child go into the real world without me? Oh, it just hurts. It breaks their heart. So
yes.
But yeah, the owners that we purchased from. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to stay on that point for a second.
For sure. Of course.
Because the upside, the opposite of that is when good stuff happens in the affiliate and you get this deep sense of satisfaction. Like someone hits a goal in their lifts. Someone tells you about how they turned around an addiction, you know, whatever it is,
improve their health,
their health. So like those are just amazing. You feel good as an owner.
Right.
But you feel like, man, I'm really doing something powerful in life.
Yeah.
But the opposite things that happen when
a
member leaves because they don't like the way you're doing things, right? It's like a little bit of a stab. A coach gets upset and leaves because you didn't take their input to the programming. Right. And those things cut deep sometimes.
For sure.
As an owner, you take it, you do. And again, it's a double-edged sword of community because it's usually you put yourself into it, very transparent, you're emotionally connected. That's why the community is so strong.
Right.
And then when someone leaves a community, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Or in the case of where you guys are, a new owner comes in and does something different, sets up new standards, sets up new policies.
And that's us. Yeah.
Then it and the previous owners go, what? And they take it personally, or the community takes it personally. And that's the hard part of acquiring an existing affiliate.
Right. This is by no means easier than building from scratch. Like this is the exact opposite.
I would imagine it being more difficult for sure.
You know, it's very difficult. And just, we talked about the amount of money that we would put into purchasing gear. And Craig always reminded me, think about that. Think about how much it would cost for you to just purchase all the gear brand new and start
from
fresh.
Scratch. Yeah.
And he's like, and just always have that in mind whenever you're talking price and all that kind of stuff. And because the reality is I'm having to rebuild culture.
Yeah.
And I'm a big culture guy. I'm a big, the newsletters that I put out, it's just talking about culture a lot. It's talking about who we are and what we believe in and by extension, what the gym is about. Right. And some people align with that and some people don't. Some of our standards that we've put out there, and I've released things slowly, right? We've had the gym now for 5, almost 6 weeks. I've released things slowly because I know that those changes are going to be really hard for people. It's going to be emotionally draining for them because this is their thing that I'm now stepping in and taking over. So I'm trying really hard to not hit everybody all at once. Like even this last week, I didn't release any new changes. Last week I released 4. Right. The week before I released 2. The week before I released 1. Right. So I'm trying to build, just like programming.
So you're progressively overloading the changes.
Exactly. So I'm giving it a little break this time, but the reality is
it's a deload phase.
We've had members that have left, some of them because their membership was ending for their contracts, which, we don't do contracts anymore. That's not what we want. If you want to leave, this is not the place to hold you. I'm not going to hold you. If you want to leave, please go to where you feel is right for you. Right.
Yeah.
So we have had people leave because of that reason. And I've had a few people leave because I put out some standards that they don't agree with.
Right.
And that's hard for me. And especially some of them, I'm like, man, I know that you love this place. And I'm sorry that the standards that I have or the rules that I have made it so that you actually can't be here. The timing might not work or, what have you. I feel bad about that. But At the same time, if I make exceptions for you, I'm now two-faced, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, one member left because she felt I was being two-faced. And the nice thing is that the coaches and the previous owner that we purchased from, they were able to say, that's not James. James isn't two-faced. You know, understand that what James is doing is he's probably building towards something else.
Yeah.
So that what he's saying, maybe he should have said it a different way.
Right.
But what he's saying is true. He's just trying to build towards something else so that it will be right. And so, you know, it's always sad to me. And my heart, like you said, my heart has broken a couple times, right? We got away for a day, and I was getting emails from somebody, you know, DMs on Instagram from somebody, and we're away, and I have no reception where we're at. And I stayed while my family went down to the beach so that I could talk to this person and tell them, hey, my heart does break for you. And I'm trying not to get emotional here, but
yeah.
I want people to know that they are loved and that they're cared for, right? I'm a Christian. And to me, it's very important. And you talk about church. I've seen these things happen, right? I know what these things do. We've seen pastors come in and transition and all that stuff at our old church. And it's not easy, right? It's not easy. But my heart breaks for them because I want them to know that they actually matter, that they are important. But at the same time, I know that I can't be all things to all people. Yeah. Right. So.
Well, too, like, I think, you know, being able to let go of somebody and hey, why don't you go experience somewhere else? And, you know, it does not mean that they're not welcome back.
I tell them that,
right?
Please, like, you're welcome.
Go experience something else elsewhere. I mean, we've had people that have left here, and I mean, they're coming back 5 years later.
Right.
And I mean, they're loving the changes, and it's you're looking for progress. Not everybody's ready to make that progress.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. That's good.
It is. So like, even this conversation, you think about 3 owners, affiliate owners here, having this conversation right now. I guarantee you these types of conversations aren't ever being held at a F45 or an Orange Theory or a Barry's boot camp.
Right.
That's the difference between and it's part of that magic of CrossFit.
Yeah.
The people that are getting into this are doing it because they care, especially coaches.
Yep.
And it's almost, you know, I've seen affiliates suffer or even fail because the owner cares too much. And then I think that actually is one of the faults of some CrossFit affiliates about the basic business practices that are going to keep their doors open so they can care.
Definitely. Yeah. And that happened with the owners that we purchased from and the owners before them.
Yeah.
They care so much.
Yep.
And I love that. And we care too. But we care so much that we want this business to succeed. We want it to be here 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And we want to be the ones that are here in the driver's seat still.
Yeah.
So because of that, we have to have some things, you know, some new prices. We have to have, you know, no secret hidden, you know, you get this discount, you don't. Like, we're not doing that stuff anymore because we care enough, you know. That's
something I wanted to talk about too, because as a lesson for other affiliate owners. One of the things that I've said about Diablo is people would say, well, when I told my friends in the investment business, because I came out of the investment industry, they go, what's your exit strategy? I go, I don't have an exit strategy. Like, I'm doing this because I want a CrossFit affiliate. Like, I love CrossFit and I want to share it with other people.
Yeah.
And so within the investment industry, investment management, venture capital, private equity, which scares me a little bit about CrossFit, is they do think about an exit strategy for the purposes of return to the investors, return on the investment.
Right.
I think for affiliate owners, it is important. I've kind of changed my mind. I think it is important to think about having an exit strategy from not the point of view of necessarily return on your investment, but it will be important for you at some point in time. You're going to get to a point where, like, man, I need to move on in my life. I want to move, or, you know, someone else. I need to transfer this over to someone with just as much passion as I have. That's going to keep it going. One of the things you should think about is that exit from the perspective of every facet of your business needs to be transferable.
That's right.
And easily understood.
Right.
And by that, I mean all of the practices for membership, all of the pricing practices needs to be clear and understandable.
Right.
The new owner should be able to walk in and understand how much everybody how much everybody pays and why they get paid.
Right.
One of the things that affiliate owners do, because of the kind of the
heart
that we have,
the relationships,
relationships. We make deal here, we make a deal there, we make a deal there. We do a trade here, a trade there. Someone asked me, "Hey, can I trade for my membership? I'll do extra work." I go, "Okay." Not one trade deal I've ever done has ever. It's worked out for a brief period of time, but then over a long period of time, I don't have the time to track them. I don't have time to keep track. But those things start to compound.
Yeah.
And a new owner comes in and goes, "Okay, hey, we have 250 members. You have 200 members. Boom, we should have, based upon your pricing that's on your website, you should be making this amount of revenue." And then they look at the revenue and go, "Wait a minute. You're making way less." Well, that's because we've got this guy that makes this guy pays this guy does, we do a trade with, and all of those things start to, and all of those things, all of those relationships are all those dangerous relationships that are going to result in heartbreak, because then when the new owner comes in and sets up a pricing standard or sets up a structure for visitations to the gym, no, I got to take your key away, because if I give you a key to come after hours, then I got to give everybody a key to come after. Like, I mean, if you bring your dog, then everybody wants to bring their dog. So you start to put these rules in there, and then pretty soon you're offending all of these people that are maybe mavens. They're influential people within the community.
Exactly. And you don't want to lose those mavens.
Shit. Especially one of them or two of them are coaches.
Yep.
And so as affiliate owners, I would highly encourage you. I know you have those deals. I shouldn't even say don't set those deals, because I know everybody's got them.
Right.
I think I still have one or two left here.
Yeah.
Minimize those.
Yep.
So you should be able to put them on a 3, but you should put those deals should fit right here. That's it. And not really small print.
Note.
One note. Hey, here's, and then when you sell the affiliate, you can sell the affiliate, you get price, you do the big contract, everybody signs, boom, they pay the price, and you go, "Oh, by the way, here. Let me give you this. These are the ones you really need to know about."
Right.
Don't make them a large percentage of the.
Yeah, that's good.
You do need to think about an exit strategy, and an exit strategy from point of view of setting up your business so that anybody can come in and keep the flame going.
Right.
Anybody can come in and keep the flame going.
Yeah, that's good.
How many of those special deals did you have, James?
Honestly, here's the cool thing is the owners that we purchased from, they had started kind of cleaning that stuff up a little bit. And then we just took it a step further. Right now we only have one of those. Everybody else is full paying members. And we're happy with that. I did present different options for this person, because I did want them to have another way to do it. It just didn't work out with their schedule to do what I was asking. But I think at some point that particular person will actually step into what I see in their life, and them to be capable of. So,
did the owners you buy from have the 24-hour service?
They did not. They were talking about it for a while.
Yeah, I remember having a
scan card to get in.
Yeah. It's the hybrid. Hybrid AF.
Yep, exactly.
A program that lets people come in. I talked to them about that. It works for some affiliates. I'm not. I wouldn't do it.
It's not my preference. We want to build community. We want people to be in community, and I want to have your back. Like if you're moving in a way that, I mean, a sports rehab background, man, I can't help it. Like I need to help you move so that you can do this 5 years from now.
Yeah.
I know that particular movement pattern that you're doing results in a calcium deposit, which then results in a potential tear. Right. So whatever I see, I can't see that if I'm not there with you, because you have 24-hour access.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing for some people. They really want that 24-hour access. We might not be the gym for you.
Yeah.
There are other gyms out there that have that as an option. And that just is not what I feel CrossFit should be.
Is there a lot of CrossFit gyms doing that?
There are a few. There's not a ton.
It's like the Snap Fitness, right? Like,
what they do is they run classes, and then they also have a hybrid AF gives you basically like a card key system. And then it keeps track of that member that comes in after hours.
So it's like scanning their attendance.
Yeah, I think out of like CrossFit affiliates, out of 10 CrossFit affiliates, probably one has it. So it's 10%, maybe 10% of affiliates have that hybrid AF program.
All right.
There's a lot of fuckery that could happen with that.
Very easily. Very easily. Yeah, for sure.
It's one of the things. So like if you're a new affiliate owner, talk to an affiliate owner that's been around 10 years or more. They've seen all that fuckery.
You think you got a clever idea, pass it by somebody.
Yeah.
That's good.
Exactly.
That's good.
That's my next thing. Because we saw some of that fuckery.
Yeah.
And not to name names, but Jorgie.
Oh, man. Poor Jorgie.
Because he would make videos of his fuckery.
Yeah.
What was the one? He did Bouncing Grace. Remember Bouncing Grace?
Yeah.
Well, 130, 100, and this is stuff he would do after hours. And he would film it and put it on YouTube or something, or send us the video. But Bouncing Grace, by the way, is so you basically do Grace, you come to the top and then you bounce it, you throw it down, and it bounces back up into the clean position so you can get back up. Now you bounce, you got to do it right. But I remember Bouncing Grace was one of the things he did.
That's great.
It's really good on the barbells.
Yeah, great for the barbells.
Yeah, so no, there's all kinds of fuckery.
Yeah, so if you want your equipment being taken care of, don't do this.
And they recommend have cameras and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
That's true. But you know, after a while, even with the cameras we have here, you know, we don't check.
I gotta check them. Yeah, exactly. I don't have time for that.
I check them. Check them when there's a break in.
Right.
Check them when there's a break in or there's an outrageous score on the sugar.
So what's your wife doing for the business?
So she's there right now. You know, she got up at 7 a.m. and ran over to the gym with the kids, and you know, she's our chief operations officer in reality. I already call her that for the household. You know, she runs our household beautifully. And Brianna, her background, she ran a large scale production bakery. So she was one of the she was the linchpin for that company, and so she was in charge of I think it was 350 employees.
Oh, wow.
And so she was really good at managing their time down to the second. So she'd tell somebody, hey, at 9:57:02, you need to be on your way over to this line, right? And they're doing millions of dollars a day, right? So this is a large scale production bakery, and it's just something she's really good at. She loves systems. She loves building teams. You guys have both met Bree. Yeah. Smile constantly.
Yeah.
The girl is amazing. So she's great at taking whatever direction that I want us to go in and just charging forward. And so I love that about her, that she's just willing to do whatever it takes. She painted the gym.
Let's say the gym paint looks great.
Right.
Yeah.
And she did that with Terry. Obviously, we love
awesome.
Terry.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So Terry had another guy with him, John.
John.
Yep. And then Bree, Terry told her, he's like, you saved us at least 20 something hours.
Really?
Right? By
Wow,
her
that's
being
awesome.
there.
He's so great.
He's great. I love Terry.
Dude, he said the same thing. Terry, so he's painted our gym since probably 2010.
Yeah.
And this guy's he's got to be 65, 67, something.
How
like
many
that.
times have you been hearing him say he's going to retire?
I know.
He's retiring.
And he doesn't bid on the paint job, by the way. He comes in, he goes, I don't do bids, dude. It's hourly. You just pay me hourly, or
Right.
you know, I'm not going to do a fucking bid. That's who literally tell you that.
Right.
And he's an organized guy. And then you come in and you'll see the 67-year-old guy at the top of a single ladder, like 20 feet up in the air,
cutting into a line.
Yeah, cutting into a line. I'm like, what, dude? You shouldn't be on that ladder.
Yeah.
Like leaning over, painting as he's doing it.
He's nimble. He jumped off. The ladder was falling. He jumped off of it. No problem. Like, are you nuts?
Yeah,
that guy.
He's great.
Great
and, John, and I said, hey, my daughter likes to goes, bring her. I'll have her paint.
Yeah.
Like he's like that doesn't bother him at all.
Such a good guy. Yeah. And you know, for Bree, she's willing to do whatever it takes. And so, you know, helping out Terry, that was, you know, he would tell her, hey, can you get this line cut in by tomorrow so that we can just rip through and paint?
Yeah.
So she'd be there until 11, 12 o'clock at night with kids, stopping for breastfeeding our, you know, 6-month-olds, now 7-month-old. She just does whatever it takes. That's the kind of woman
that's awesome.
You know, that's
helpful.
My dream girl.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She is 100% my dream girl.
Yeah.
I love
amazing.
it.
Yeah, I have a chief operations officer too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she's a hard ass.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. It's what we need.
It works.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd be a mess otherwise.
Yeah.
And how many classes are you coaching a week?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Not very many. So there are weeks where I won't coach a single class.
Wow.
So which I think is great.
Yeah.
And the coaches have really, before we came on, they were some of them in particular were feeling it all.
Oh, dude, they went through multiple owners, members leaving. It's hard.
It was very hard. Their hearts are there. These coaches that we have, they are here for the right reasons.
Yeah.
They all are successful in their careers. They don't need to be at the gym, but they're here because they love it. Yeah. Right. And so towards the end of it, they were, not the end, towards the middle of it, they were really getting burned out.
Sure.
They were working their butts off. We had a few coaches that came on to help out and reduce some of that load, but it was really hard on them. It was hard on the previous owner that we purchased from. And it was just, it was not the easiest situation. So when we came on board, we had a coaches meeting before we even purchased, and we said, hey, here's our goals. Here's what we're looking for the gym. We're here to step up and make sure this thing is successful. And a few of them were like, arms crossed, like not trusting us at all. But when they heard our vision, you could see them start to relax.
Right.
You could see that they realized, they know what they want. They don't need our opinions. But it's cool that they're asking for our opinion, but they don't need it. And so for them, a lot of them, I'm not going to speak for all of them, but for a lot of them, they've actually said to us, we are so grateful that you have solid rules, solid principles and directions that you want us to go in. And it makes us willing to do whatever it takes. And so for a while there, they were not able to coach as many classes because they were just really burned out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But when we came on, immediately they were able to step up more than they were before because they didn't have some of those pressures that were there. So it really allowed for us to do what we do best, which is to set culture, set vision, and then they can jump on with that. So I probably only coach in a month 4 classes max, which part of me, I love coaching. So I want to be coaching, but at the same time, it's just not where I actually should be.
Yeah.
I need to get this thing,
Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So
because sometimes the ego for owners, like they want to be the lead coach. So Trial Built is the name of Trial Built CrossFit. Changed it from North Vacaville to Trial Built. Right. And North Vacaville's been around quite a long time.
It has been. Yeah.
Why would you change the name?
Right. So to me, it was important for us that it symbolizes that this is ours. This is our thing. Yeah. It just like painting it right away. It's a lot of money to paint.
Yeah.
Right. But we knew that it was important. We could have bought more gear. Right. We could have done so many other things with that money, but it was important to show people we are different.
Yeah.
And Trial Built, that name is a name we've had on our list for 10 years.
That's cool.
It was the last name on our list, right? So Craig and I have talked about, affiliate ownership for a long time. We'd be at regionals or we'd be down at the games and it's just he and I sitting in a car together, or sometimes it'd be the 3 of us together, right? And we would just be talking about what it's like to own a gym because, you guys have known that's something that we wanted.
Yeah.
Right. And so that name, it was the last name on our list and it was the last name for a reason. Oh, this is the one. Mm-hmm. Right. And so we just kept watching CrossFit. We kept checking in with the affiliates. Does anyone have this name? Does anyone have? Nope. Okay, cool. And so we bought the website a while ago. We had the Instagram a while ago, right? So it's just, we've had it. And then when we lost out on the opportunity to buy the gym a year ago, Craig's like, James, just do this. Why aren't you doing it yet? I was like, oh yeah, we should do this.
Well, you said you were training people out of the garage too.
Yeah,
right?
we were training people out of our garage. Yeah.
Had you considered doing an affiliate there?
We moved away. So that was when we lived in Antioch.
Okay. Got it.
Right. So we moved away from that area. We almost bought a location there in Antioch, right down the hill from our house. And I think it's a God thing that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
He told us to sell our, we feel God told us to sell our house. We did it in 2 days before going to Minnesota or, Wisconsin for the games, but Minnesota for Brianna's family.
Yeah.
Brianna got it listed, got it all fixed up and everything while I was at work, working 20 hours, a day back then. She got it basically listed for us, and we had it sold by the time we got back from the games. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But we moved to Vacaville. We have way better church, I think, for us. We have a way better community for us. We've never had such close friends like we do there. And so it was just the right call for us. And I'm so glad that we moved there. And this opportunity to have this gym, it's for a reason, man.
Yeah.
And the whole time we were working on other skills. And I think this is important for affiliate owners too, or potential future affiliate owners. Just because you don't have your gym right now, don't sit there waiting.
Yeah.
That's not what you should be.
No.
Don't wait for your ribbon that you participated.
Yeah.
Get your butt working.
Yeah.
I built a sports rehab business that was, I think, one of the best in California. You know, one of the most sought after people.
Yeah, our athletes loved it.
Right, right. So 10 years of doing that. At the same time, I built a videography and photography business. And what do you need in CrossFit? What do you need for your affiliate? You got to be good at handling media. You got to understand the body like nobody else.
Yeah.
We did those things. We were purposeful.
Yeah.
We weren't messing around.
Yeah, those are
smart.
Those are really nice alignments.
Yeah,
right.
It's really good combination.
Right.
Shit, the only other thing you need to do is like know how to use like Canva and Photoshop, and then you're set. And I think
I'm sure he's got
that.
I'm sure he's got that dialed in. He's like, Canva, come on.
Yeah, seriously, I know you got Canva.
So, but it's been really cool. It's been amazing that, you know, having that purposeful mindset. You know, Trial built that name. It means something to us.
Yeah.
We can either be built by our trials or we can be destroyed by them.
Yeah.
I don't want to be crushed by my trials. No, man. I'm gonna make sure that whatever comes my way, it's not gonna kill me. I'm gonna be harder to kill, right? I'm gonna work my butt off. We're not raising soft kids. Some people, you know, I gotta be careful. CPS, don't listen to this. But we have expectations for our kids.
Yeah.
You know, we have expectations as Coopers. This is who we are. This is what we stand for.
I love this.
And my kids get involved in that too, right? We've created our Cooper Warrior Code. We have our mantra that we say before bed. You know, some of the members from our gym have seen the email that just went out talking about our, you know, what are Coopers? Coopers are leaders. What do leaders do? Leaders inspire greatness, right? So these are the things that I'm pumping into my kids. And anyone can be a leader, right? Anyone can be can lead someone else or lead themselves to greatness, right? And so it's just one of those things that for us it's important, but we also want our members to benefit from that mindset too.
Yeah.
I want our members to be stronger and strengthened in other ways besides just physically. I want their marriages to be healthy and strong, because we know in CrossFit affiliates, things can happen, right?
Yeah.
So we really want to be purposeful. And, you know, not to get like super Christian with you guys, but we had a prayer walk when we first took over the gym. We had our pastors come in and pray with us. We had our small group come in and pray with us. And we prayed for this space to be a place where people could get not just physically fit, but emotionally fit, but spiritually fit, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just one of those things. I mean, if you're not thinking about all those pieces, and, you know, I know that not everyone's going to be Christian. Most of our members are not Christians. I'm not going to force that on anybody, but it's the reality that if we're not focused on that piece, we're missing something. Whatever you believe in, you know, I wish that you could, you know, believe in Jesus, but man, whatever you believe in, man, I want you to like, let's go for it. Let's be real. Let's be purposeful. Let's not just let life happen to us.
And the reality is, especially for an affiliate and for a community,
right.
Those values, Christian or not, are healthy for the community.
Exactly.
One of the things we do at Diallo is we give the spouse a discount.
Yes.
For being a member. They're almost 50% off the membership.
Right.
Because we know that if the spouse is here, both are more likely to come.
Right.
And it creates a family environment.
Yep.
And that creates longer term beneficial relationships for
sure
for the gym. One of the things, and I've said it multiple times, that we pride ourselves on, I look back and, you know, if nothing else, 13 marriages have resulted from this gym.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And probably, I think, like 8 of them, well, including Jamie.
Yeah, one right here.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Well, 8 of them have had children. They have families.
Yeah.
And at the foundation of it is very healthy fitness.
Yeah.
A foundation in CrossFit and the values of CrossFit.
Right.
The simpler way to put it too is that, you know, assholes don't like hard work.
Yeah, that's true.
So you end up with good people at a CrossFit gym, and then if you reinforce that with good traditional values,
right,
and the community thrives.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
One of the things that you did that upset us, and we almost didn't have you on the podcast because of it.
I'm so sorry, guys.
It is a PRs all day podcast.
It's all good,
man.
And these guys are a customer. North Vacaville was a customer of progressive programming, which is what the program in Diablo uses. And then Jamie Lee, the gentleman you're standing next to, writes that programming.
Yep.
So all these years of experience programming that you've done.
I loved too. I've always loved it.
Yet James decided after he took over as affiliate to abandon it and write his own programming.
Yeah.
Something that many OG affiliate owners will tell you is, as an affiliate owner, you it's a healthy thing to do, is to learn
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, to really know your community and to be able to provide the right stuff for them. I think that's a good trusting aspect, right? To build trust within your community. So
sure. It's one of the things too that I asked Craig, when I was here, and I don't know if we talked about it too. Maybe we didn't.
No, I don't think so.
But I was like, Craig, am I going to hurt you guys' feelings if I don't do PRs all day?
This kind of comes back to what you were talking about earlier. You set certain standards, and not everybody. Hey, go do your thing. Go experiment. Get exposed to other stuff. Exactly. It's the same kind of situation here.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere. You can always come back.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you're going through this process, and you're learning. You're not just learning how to run an affiliate, but you're also making relationships with your community, and you want to have that trust behind them.
Yeah. It was just really cool because knowing how you guys operate, you operate like this, open hand, right? Both of you guys do. Yvonne does. You guys always have had that mindset. And I think even just the fact that I'm here, I'm not your competition. You guys are crushing it. But, I've told Craig too, like, my goal is to be not the same as you guys. I want to be better than you guys.
That's awesome.
Right. And if I have this mindset that I want to achieve what Craig's doing. It's the old Kalipa and Rich thing. Yeah. Right. What's Rich doing?
Yeah.
No, I'm not looking for that. I'm trying to be our version, whatever that looks like, and be the best of that version that we possibly can. I don't want to be Michael Jordan. I want to be better than Michael Jordan, right? I'm not looking for...
You're setting the bar higher than what's already out there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's good.
So the cool thing is that you guys have a very healthy mindset of open hand. And like you said, you might come back one day. At some point, if I get too busy and I can't be doing that kind of stuff, I've got an expert who's already been programming for 15 years. How many years now?
About 15,
yeah. Almost 15, yeah. And, I always tell people, man, Diablo is the pinnacle. Diablo is what every gym should be fighting for. And I'll tell people this thing too. I'll say, hey, you that are here at Diablo, just try another gym when you're traveling and see the difference of what you have. You have something very special. This is not a normal gym. This is an exceptional gym. Right. So
it's funny that you say that too, because Sherry just came back in. Did you catch up with her at all?
Sherry Garcia.
She was like, this place is like the Rolls Royce.
It is. It really is. Yeah.
Which is, I posted on, I think, I went to Twitter with it on Diablo's Twitter, and I told, because she told me what her experiences were in it. And it doesn't, I love that we get complimented as a great gym.
Yeah, of course.
But it hurts a little bit when you hear
it hurts a little bit, right? Because I want CrossFit. I want everybody's CrossFit experience to be amazing.
It's a great topic. Yep.
And I love that you have that as a goal. I want to be better than, because I want to, and I do, and there are a number of affiliates that I look to learn from. Fort Vancouver, CrossFit Roots.
Of course, yeah.
There's a bunch of them. That I have conversations with and want to steal their stuff and get better. That's how we all get better.
Yep.
But I back to the tweet. I tweeted that at a minimum, CrossFit affiliates need to have a good warm up that aligns with the workout of the day.
Yeah.
And then and I can there are always some exceptions to that, like Bill Grundler does a standard warm up, but Yvonne pointed out, she goes, she said it to Bill Grundler. She goes, I know why you do that warm up. He goes, why? She goes, because you can tell how everybody moves and what.
It's more of a screening aspect.
Yeah, it was a screening aspect because
it
was like one, and I'm like, oh yeah,
which is super helpful when you have an affiliate that has a lot of drop-ins.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, that's right.
If you have a lot of drop-ins and you don't have the same kind of relationship, or you don't understand how so-and-so is moving, like you could say, hey, how are you feeling? Oh, I'm great. And then all of a sudden you turn around and they're like rolling their knee around. It's like, what's going on? Oh, I got this thing. It's like,
I asked if you had an injury.
So have a good warm up, then have good movement instruction, and preparation for the workout itself.
Right.
Like just those two things alone, and then have a way to get feedback from your customers after the workout.
Yeah.
Right.
Like some sort of tracking system,
Yeah.
or put it on a whiteboard. Like those three things, those are basic standards that every CrossFit affiliate. And I'll be honest with you, and I told CrossFit that there needs to be some sort of evaluation system where if people go out and they don't have that experience, that information gets relayed back to CrossFit. Because if I'm CrossFit and I'm protecting this brand and that's happening, I feel like there should be some sort of retribution. To be honest with you,
it's like you need to have like a secret shopper out there that's dropping
maybe a secret shopper or whatever it is. I mean, I don't want to standardize everybody, but there are some minimum standards that go towards keeping people safe and giving people an amazing experience, and they're really simple.
Right.
It's not that difficult. And I remember this story, like Alessandra was telling us when she went to New York and dropped into an affiliate and
Hell's Kitchen.
I wasn't gonna go there, but yeah, they're out there. And it was such a sad story. She I walked in, the guy's like, here's the warm up and no instruction, just go. And it's like, that's not helping the overall picture of what we're trying to do.
Right.
And it's entirely possible that the owner doesn't know that that's happening.
That's very true. But that would come back down to like, if CrossFit, I mean, did have some form of a secret shopper, like that information would come back to the affiliate. Right. So then that way they would be able, the owner would be able to
take action.
Take action.
Right. Yeah. I would want that feedback.
Yeah. 100%.
Sure, me too. Yeah. Feedback is good. And it's one of the things that, for our coaches, the coaches that want feedback, which in our case, luckily it's all of them. For the coaches that want feedback, those are the ones that are going to get better.
Yeah.
For the affiliates that want feedback, those are the affiliates that are going to get better. They're going to be here long term potentially. Yeah. I mean, I know at one point CrossFit did a video on Hell's Kitchen. I'm pretty sure they did.
I feel like they did.
They did.
It was like 7 years ago, right?
Been around a long time.
I think with New York, it's the amount of drop-ins that they get.
Of course,
probably overwhelms them.
It probably does.
And again, I don't know how many times it happened with Alessandro.
Well, but you never know. Like, it's been a rough couple years.
It has been. Oh, that's a good point.
And you never know. The coach that might have been in there could have had a shitty day,
for sure.
Maybe not happy with what they're doing right now. Who knows? So there's all kinds of different variables. But still, it comes back down to how does the affiliate owner get to know what's going on in their gym?
Right.
Figure out as an affiliate owner. I think the rule is, as an affiliate owner, figure out how you're going to get feedback.
Yep.
Not through Yelp.
Yeah. I have. Right, not through Yelp.
Not through a negative Yelp review.
Yeah, exactly.
I have about 4 or 5 members, not necessarily of my choosing. They provide me feedback on the coaches.
Yeah.
And at different times of the day. And that feedback's super valuable.
Right.
Yeah.
And they know that in all of them that do it, the members that do it don't abuse it. They just and positive and negative feedback.
That's good.
But as an affiliate owner, you need to either one be going there. If you go to class, you're going to get probably a great class from the coach. Yeah. It's the class that they're giving when you're not there.
You're not there for sure.
Yeah.
That you need to know about.
Yeah.
And so figure out a way to do that.
Another thing too that helps, and then I want to go back to the programming stuff too, but another thing that helps is having them have shadows with them. I've noticed that just from this last 2 weeks, we have 2 people that have their L1s and that are shadowing.
Mm-hmm.
Our coaches have told us that, because we only are allowing 2, 3 actually, to allow people to shadow with them. And so those coaches are like, man, I really had to,
be on your game. Yeah.
Because they realized, oh, I do this because of this, and I do that because of this. And then translating that to the person that's shadowing, it's very, very helpful for them.
Yeah.
When I have coaches taking my classes, I coach about 3 or 4 classes a week. When I have coaches taking my class, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't usually.
You mean it's not the exact same experience that everybody's getting from day to day?
No, I can't leave the gym floor in the middle of the Metcon and go get a new coffee. Yeah, I gotta set an example. I gotta stay out here because one of my coaches is in here.
Right.
This morning, I shouldn't tell these stories. This morning,
you've already started.
7 a.m. They're going to get. Everybody's getting the. Okay, you guys going to get a barbell TheraBand. I go, hey, and then someone please go get me a cup of coffee.
Oh my gosh!
And no one moved. I said, all right, well, fuck. I guess I'll have to go get it myself.
Oh my gosh!
They do enjoy that, Craig.
Yeah, that's the Craig everybody loves. Yeah.
That's the 7 o'clock Craig. I've already coached 5 and 6.
Exactly.
They know what they're getting at that point.
So going back to the programming, I want to talk about this because like what you said, the relationship of actually seeing the members and seeing what they're going through.
Yeah.
They have been, for the last month, 6 weeks now, pretty beat up.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's very different. Because I come from that sports rehab background, I just think about the body like, we used to call you the doctor or the professor, like just the way that you think is more like that. Your movement patterns are beautiful, like absolutely beautiful. But so for the members there, it's a different program. I said, look, even if we were to do, so PRs all day, if we were to do hard work pays off, anything that you do, it's going to be different.
That's right.
Because we all have our biases. We all have our things, the way that we look at how we move. So, they're all pretty beat up right now. And, I'll give them a day of kind of abuse and then I'll back off. Right. And we're kind of just playing it by ear. But one of the things I've heard from the members is that they love it. They love that I am not just doing the long workouts, because I have a lot of people that only want long workouts.
That was one of the things I got a lot of, like, not always the best for
we
you.
do CrossFit. We do CrossFit. And so I keep reminding people every single week, we do CrossFit.
That's right.
So you're going to get a long workout here. You're going to get a really short one. That short one's not a bad one.
It's an intense one.
It's an intense one.
The short one's where you can really unlock yourself.
Yeah.
Really.
I think you said at one point, the short ones are the ones where you can't hide.
Yes.
Right. The long ones you can hide. You can take your time and chalk up, and you can do this and you can do that. You can't hide on the short ones.
Short ones, every second counts.
Every second counts. Exactly. And, I think that's one of the things that the members are starting to get. And it was cool because a few members, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, they're like, oh, I get why we did this on this day that had nothing to do with this workout. It's because you had us do it 3 days later.
Yeah.
So we worked on our form and our skill because we didn't do a strength that day. We just did a skill. Oh, it makes perfect sense. Right. So I'm trying to help them. I'm helping them understand that we are always building towards something. Nothing I do is random. It might seem random to you.
Yeah.
But we are always trying to build towards something else, and they're starting to get it, which is really cool.
It's like you could step back and then look at the whole macro calendar and see, like, okay, there's a clear progression, a clear trajectory of what you're trying to do.
Exactly.
I think too, like with you taking over the gym at the same time, but you also have a really large understanding of what's going on from a physiological aspect, and how they're moving and how this is going to pay off, and how to get them to a point where they can push the intensity without breaking down.
For sure.
And the fact that you have that experience and that knowledge, you're able to translate that a lot more to the coaches, who then also are going to get a better buy-in from you as a new owner, and then they're going to be able to transfer that to your customer base.
Right. Exactly.
Which is, I mean, it has to happen
for sure. And I'm working hard. Really, I'm not. Craig told me at the beginning, he said, hey, make sure you have a month planned out ahead of time.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Which really bugs me. I had the first month ready to go.
It goes quick.
But after that, I'm like, crap, I'm not there anymore.
It goes quick.
Yeah. And because we've been focusing on so many other pieces, and I'm working, 18 to whatever, we'll say 16 to 18 hours a day right now. Trying to make more money. Like after I'm done with this podcast, I'm going to do a shoot. Because I've got to bring money into the business so that we can actually pour more into it, and we can get our, our membership higher,
keep the ball rolling.
Right. So it's, it's a lot, right? So
you never take your foot off the gas.
Never.
I do. The point you made that I really enjoy, and again, this is something I emphasize with our coaches. I've talked about in our coaches meeting, and I would encourage other affiliate owners, is there's downtime in the class where they're doing mobility, they're warming up. And that's usually dead air time.
Right.
And that's an opportunity to educate members.
Yeah, for sure.
On the process.
Yeah.
Here's why we're doing this. Here's why I want you to do this. Here's why this technique is important. To the process. Here's why we're doing a short Metcon. And here's what I want you to do in this short Metcon. This is where we need to learn to suffer. This is where the intensity goes. But the education in that process helps get them comfortable with what you're doing overall, and with what the value is of CrossFit.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's just a workout they're coming in to do, And it's why we don't do the 10 packs anymore. If you're just cherry picking, coming to workouts, that's not what this is about.
Right.
You can go get your 10 pack to Barry's Boot Camp at 45 or some functional fitness gym elsewhere where they'll let you come in and just do a workout. That's your functional fitness day.
Yeah.
But this here's a process that that's longer term.
Yep, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. Yeah. What other questions? Do you have any other questions?
No.
All right. Dude, you're doing a good job. I'm thrilled to hear that it's going.
Yeah.
And that it's going in the right direction. We offer our help in any way you want.
We appreciate that.
Would still open it and down to do a clinic at your location.
We just talked about that with our coaches. We had our first coaches meeting on Saturday, and a couple of the coaches that are our L2s, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would desperately love that.
Yeah, you bring this guy in.
Yeah, for sure.
With
for sure.
Alessandra,
man, yeah,
and Jackson.
We've been talking about going on the road too. Sandra and I, about just like doing skills clinics and other barbell work or whatever.
Yeah,
you'll blow your coaches away and then and get them excited again about it. So we're down to do that.
Yeah, we would love that. And you've offered that to me a couple of times, and we're definitely ready for it. Now that things are kind of rolling, and I'm at the point where I don't have to be there every single day.
Yeah,
Brianna's there every day, but I want to be physically in the gym at all times. It's kind of hard right now because I'm trying to make the money and all that.
Sure.
But I just appreciate that you guys have the hearts that you do, and that you're willing to do whatever it takes to make CrossFit successful. And you mentioned that earlier, and this is something that I said to both sets of previous owners, right? We want CrossFit to be successful. We care about CrossFit.
Yep.
So just because we didn't, we weren't the first people to purchase it, we weren't offended at all. What did we do? We immediately, set you up with the people that we just bought the gym from, right? Because my intention was, okay, no problem. Bummer for me, but I want you guys to be successful because I want CrossFit to be thriving. Exactly. So I feel like your demeanor that you guys both, but especially you, Craig, that I've just seen it over the years. You care so much about CrossFit, so deeply about CrossFit that you're willing to do whatever it takes. It's a good leadership thing. And that's something that we are trying to take as well into our gym, that we want people to know this isn't an us versus them thing.
Yeah.
It's a CrossFit as a whole. It works. It's amazing for everybody. When I used to do, ART, the sports rehab stuff, when you're excited about something that you're doing, you're like, this is for everybody.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
CrossFit actually is.
Yeah.
CrossFit is one of those very rare things that it actually is.
Yeah.
You can do it if you're in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
You can do it if you are 75. You can do it if you're 100, right? We've seen those videos, right?
Yeah.
You can do it if you are 200 pounds overweight. I have a meeting with a new potential member on Wednesday to do our no sweat intro, which I'm stealing everything from you guys. You guys already know that, but
absolutely.
I have this member coming in and she said, like, after the 2 kids, I've gained a lot of weight and I'm trying to lose this weight. And it's just really cool that she was able to look around the gym as she's talking to me and see other members that clearly have lost weight.
Yeah.
That clearly are here for a reason, that they've put in time. And, I've got one athlete in particular that I'm constantly just praising this woman. She is crushing it. And I don't know how much weight she's lost yet because I haven't had that sit down with her, but I just see that she is in it. And that she really, truly loves what she's doing and why she's doing it. That's really cool because it's being in love with the process, not being in love with the results. If we can just continually be in love with that process, I think that all of us are going to
the results happen.
Yeah, they're going to happen. Exactly. Yeah. And she'll post constantly and she'll talk about, she's beat up from this. And so she's going to walk today and she's going to recover and she'll be in the next day. And it's really cool.
So your new members coming in that's overweight, it's going to be the next story.
She's gonna be the next story. Exactly.
And everybody's got a backstory.
Everybody does.
I had to walk out here and you look on the gym. It's like amazing. You looked at that class today where we were standing there.
Yeah.
Just like I look at go, holy shit, but they all got backstories.
Yeah, every single one.
Yeah. And Sherry, who was in that class, she's lost like 30 pounds.
Amazing. Yeah, that's great.
It's remarkable.
Yeah.
But everybody's got a backstory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so Koja said the clinic sounds dope, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Awesome. I love it. What are we done now? Are we or
yeah.
Can I ask you guys questions? Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean,
we got time if you want.
How much time do we have?
Do you want to do that on live? Because we're still live.
How much time do we have on?
We can stop it whenever.
We go until when we stop.
Gotcha. So for you, Jamie, why did you start CrossFit? Why did you get so passionate about this little thing called CrossFit? And why did you decide to come and be a part of Craig's gym, right?
Okay.
Rather than continuing
on my own.
Yeah.
Good question. So I started, I was a personal trainer at Club Sport. It was like a global gym environment.
Yeah.
And one of my trainers got me to do Fran for the first time. And grew up wrestling. And it's like, oh man, this hits differently. This is very familiar to those old days and that stimulus that we got.
Right.
And at the time I was riding mountain bikes, and I was like, this would be a great opportunity to train for that.
Yeah.
And it just took over my life because it's so fun, so varied. There's so much different stuff that you can get out of it. And at the same time, I saw how beneficial it was to my private clients that I was working with, which then led into a makeshift affiliate, I guess you could say, underneath the we were trying to work towards an affiliate, and it just didn't work with the business that we were at.
Right.
And we had a meeting where the trainers, they basically said, if you had clients that want to do CrossFit specific stuff, you got to go to a CrossFit specific gym. You can't do that here anymore. And it was like, well, as soon as that happened, one of my clients had already kind of popped the question, hey, you want to do an affiliate, kind of jokingly, and jumped full force into it. Signed a lease, did that. And it turned out that the partners that I got into it with were not CrossFitters. And didn't have the same, values around like what we're doing here as as CrossFit, as a CrossFit affiliate.
Right.
And what happened was we got to a point, we actually outgrew our space. We had a 3,500 square foot facility in Pacheco, and we had some issues with the neighbors, and it got to a point where like, we're moving on to a bigger space, and they pop, hey, we're going to need to get a huge loan and do this. And at that time I was running the classes 6 a.m. to 7:30 at night, 5-6 days a week. I had just started bringing on a couple new coaches that were, I was grooming them to kind of help fill in some spaces. And when we got to this particular point where we were getting ready to sign a new lease, I asked them, like, hey, so we need to make some changes. Like, so-and-so is supposed to get certified, who was another trainer partner.
Right.
And they were just interested in other stuff. And I was like, all right, well, this isn't going to work for me anymore. We're going to have to separate and go different ways. And from there, I reached out to Craig and his previous owner, or partner, Jeremy, and they were going through a whole thing with the city at the time. With the equipment industry, the equipment fitness, Diablo Fitness Engineering.
Right. I remember that.
We were at a point where we're like, all right, we're going to need to buy new equipment. Like we're going into a bigger space.
Right.
And he said, like, if it doesn't work out, you always have a spot, we're always looking for experienced coaches. And we looked and looked and looked for a space. And this was like 3 weeks before regionals 2011.
Okay.
And I caught up with them at regionals, and we couldn't find a spot.
Right.
So after regionals, we set up a meeting like the next following week, and I came over from there, and still have some of our CrossFit Burn people here with us.
Nice.
10 or 12 years later, almost.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
It's cool because you guys have developed such a good relationship. You're already a business owner type of a person already as it is. It's just cool seeing your relationship over the years get stronger and stronger. I haven't seen like a ton of this. I mean, obviously it happens sometimes, I'm sure. But you guys do a really good job of staying healthy with it. And I think that's something that is honorable and hard to find in today's world. So it's I just appreciate seeing that with you guys.
Thank you.
The part that he left out though is he started doing our programming. I bought out my former partner. His business developed into something that other people wanted.
That's right.
So he now has clients around the world, and so we spun that company out, which he's the CEO and owner.
Freaking love,
So he has his own company doing programming, and he does a lot of individual programming with our clients that are his clients now. Because I don't want to be in that business. I don't want to be in the programming business. And it's easier for me to be a client of Jamie's than it is for me to try and hire someone to do it and then manage it and do all that process. I'd rather bitch to him as a client than have to worry about that.
Right. It's a really good relationship.
Yeah, no, it works out good for him, and it works out great for us. And then he coaches here too.
Yeah.
It's a good example of, I guess some of the stuff that can happen within an affiliate.
Yeah.
Right. Like
it's so flexible.
There's so much stuff in this industry, and there's so much different opportunities.
Yeah.
Whether it be special programs, whether it be writing programming, whether it's running specialty clinics, there's all kinds of stuff out there. And, since being here, Craig has definitely helped me out with the opportunities to still continue to be, with my family and have that somewhat of a flexible position.
Right.
But, it's something I'm, constantly progressing for.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
is one of the beauties of an affiliate versus, say, a franchise.
Yes.
Is the ability to do those types of things. There's, Tom McCoy, who is our member here that left, Dr. Tom McCoy. He works in the Wild Health program, providing, remote internet healthcare, with a eye towards preventative health care. But he now owns an affiliate. He owns an affiliate with the Make Watts Great Again guy.
Oh, that's cool.
John Willery.
Yeah.
And so those two own an affiliate together. But what's cool about him is he's going to get a Airstream trailer, park it next to the affiliate. That's where he's going to run his practice and do kind of a comprehensive service. So in other words, you can come in and get a membership, plus also get proactive healthcare.
That's really great.
Tied to it. So and then he can prescribe. What's cool is he can prescribe CrossFit is a prescription, healthcare prescription.
That's so cool.
It is really cool.
But
awesome. You can't do that with a franchise model. Like those types of things don't happen.
Right.
And I think that's an awesome model for someone like you, for example, that has that type of similar background.
Yeah. And we're debating right now whether or not I go back into that world. And it's tough because I really want to be focusing on making our coaches better.
But
I want to be focusing on making the gym culture better, right? So we just had this conversation, my wife and I, last night. Is this something that we should be getting back into and building out that part of, the business as well?
Don't chase the shiny objects too soon.
Exactly. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm telling Bree, I think I need to just stay focused, and she agrees too. Yeah. Another question I have for you too is, being athletes and coaches, how do you feel about where we're headed with the games? Having Castro back, I obviously know where you feel about Castro. The programming side of things. One of my favorite events was that sandbag.
I love that.
Up the Capitol steps. Yeah. That was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
It was so well programmed. How do you feel about the Boz Castro relationship, and where we're headed with that?
So I know them to be good friends.
Yeah, for sure.
And mutually respectful.
Yeah.
And according to what Dave has said, especially this year, Boz is writing programming. And I think that Dave sees himself in more of a role, and he's been appointed his role as the director of the games, not necessarily the writer of the programming.
Yeah.
So I think he'll have a lot of influence in it. But I think Boz will continue to do that. But they've always had a great relationship. So I don't think there's anything that changes there. I think it only gets better. One of the things that I think with respect to the organization and the details, Dave is a SEAL, former Navy SEAL, with and a natural leader. And he has a very low tolerance for mistakes.
Yeah.
And I think what we'll see is probably a tightening of some of the things that have resulted in small errors, small miscues. To make a much more error-free product.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think the games are crucial to the future of CrossFit.
I 100% agree with that.
It is not something that 99% of our members don't ever aspire to.
Right.
But I enjoy making them fans of the sport.
Same.
As an affiliate owner, it's one more hook I have in them.
Same. Yep.
And there are very few sports in this world where you can participate with the best of the best, and you literally in the open are participating with the best of the best. You can do the same competition at the same time that the best in the world are doing it.
Right.
Adhering to the same standards they have to adhere to, and putting yourself on a leaderboard next to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you compare it to say something like golf or tennis, could you imagine playing in a massive online tournament where the best of the best are also in it? It would be epic. I'm surprised that other sports haven't copied it.
Golf should do, because they're unfortunately golf's kind of dying right now.
Right.
You know, like
the participation is dwindling. Yeah. So it's a unique, and I've said this multiple times. It's the Open and the CrossFit Games are unique and distinguishing characteristic of the games. To reproduce it would be incredibly difficult for any company.
Right. Right.
And it's the ultimate manifestation of increased work capacity across broad time and modal domains.
That's right. Yeah.
So we have to have it. And it is kind of a beacon out there for a lot of us.
Right.
So, and I think it's in great hands. Dave is
definitely
passionate.
I feel like
it's
we're in a positive place right now with
I agree. Yeah.
The programming has been awesome. I mean, I love how Boz has brought in some the random movement patterns.
Makes me so happy.
I mean,
this is Jamie Lee's.
Yeah. I mean,
he and Boz speak the same language.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the stupid human tricks.
Yeah, for sure.
And just the functionality of some of the stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
with the sandbag clean event,
Yes.
right? Like that was such an epic event. I mean, it went long, and there's a lot of stuff that I think that are going to get cleaned up over time.
Yes.
But I think that we're moving it, like it's almost like we leveled up with a new aspects of movement patterns and stuff that the unknown, right? Like I think we're in good hands, like you said.
Jack was it Dahlstrom and Spiegel together?
Yeah.
Like that woman is not the same as that woman.
No.
One is known for her strength.
Yeah.
One is not known for her strength. But to see that technique and skill could actually get you there. Oh,
which is what
so
I love.
Beautiful.
It's not necessarily just built around the work capacity, but it's also about how adaptive you can be.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure. And this is one of the things too that, we think about the Open, and you guys have been programming wall walks for us for years. And none of us DCF people, were surprised. We're like, oh, okay, cool. We've done this before. Everyone else around the world freaking out. Games athletes freaking out. Single unders. You've programmed single unders.
Yeah.
Nobody else was doing single unders. Like we're like, okay, go ahead. Yeah. So what? That's the beautiful thing about programming for life, programming for variance, and it's something that's done very well here. I love it. Even talking about the membership, making them into fans of the sport. We had a viewing party for the new.
Did you watch the new one? Yeah, that's cool.
So we had had it at the gym. We have a little lounge at the gym. Taking on what you said, and so that's one of the first things we did was making our little lounge, right? Set up our couches, and had everybody bring their own food to contribute to our little potluck, and we sat and watched the games. And a lot of these people had never seen any games, films, documentaries, right?
Something we should do here too is put up one of the games.
It's well,
I know Corey's been on point with the movie nights, but that could be a movie night.
I know it could be. It's interesting. Well, James, I know why James did it. Same reason I did it, because we got a code. James and I got codes to watch it early.
Oh, God.
Okay, so
you have the end.
So hopefully, we're about an hour and a half into this podcast, which is good, because I didn't really want any of our members to know that we had that code. And I wanted to do a movie night, and I had so many things going on.
Of course,
that we didn't do the movie night.
Right.
But now James is saying he did a movie night with it, and I know why he did it, because he had advance notice that he had to get advance, and then I'll make a worse confession, since we're into transparency now.
Yeah.
Is Yvonne and I did use the code.
You already watched it. You kept it to yourself.
That's great. Yeah, when I saw your post, I was like, oh, he already watched it.
Damn it.
So great.
We will, I'll do it this week.
Yeah. But it was
I'll
great.
do it this week. And I thought about it, like, what do our members really want to watch it? They said they did. They liked it, huh?
They did. And a couple of them, one of the guys, he went home. So he brought his kids, which I told him, bring your kids.
Yeah.
This is inspiring for them, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Our kids have grown up going to the games. This is part of their DNA. They absolutely love it. And these examples of these strong women for my daughters, strong men for my boys, it's incredible. But one of the members, he went home that night and watched 3 documentaries.
Oh my!
Like, I don't know how late he must have been up until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
He just went back through and he's like, man, I've watched this one, and he's a new member. He's only been here for a month and a half.
Talk about getting a hook in somebody. You just got to put one of those movies on.
And I love it. Yeah, absolutely.
Even just the test of fitness.
I know.
Right? Like the test of fitness. It's a 35-minute video, 40-minute video.
Right.
But it really kind of it's a good educational point for people that don't understand the sport.
We're doing a movie night with it's this one's retroactive, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Yeah. What have you thought about the films kind of as Mariah has taken over? Her direction is very different than the Buttery Bros, right? Like, and she was part of that team, right? She was one of the directors as well.
So she's, she didn't get picked for this year.
She didn't. I did
24.
not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
For this particular, the one that just
2024.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for the newest one. They're not sure who has it.
They bring in Savon back?
We don't know who has it.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Savon was the one that talked to her about it, and she revealed that the she hadn't been picked. I do like how she's done it.
Yeah.
And I listened to her talk. I think it was on the Savon podcast that she talked about how the process goes. It's
exhausting.
You know better than right. Yeah. So the terabytes of information that the content that they get that they have to go back through.
Yep.
They had 2 interview rooms set up.
Yeah.
So if you did you see it yet, retroactive? So there's interviews with the athletes. The athletes give commentary. There's the announcers give commentary. There's all kinds of people that are contributing content in the interview format.
Right.
Well, those are going on separate from her. She's got people leading those interviews in a separate room, gathering all that content. And then she's out on the floor. Running the floor, gathering the content on the floor.
Yeah.
And then from there, you've got to take all of that content and you got to whittle it down and combine it together.
Right. Yeah.
I get like the hours of going through that content is to me just mind boggling.
Sure.
What makes the cut? What doesn't?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Even just okay. Tia's tone. The difference in her tone for this film versus the difference.
Well, yeah, that's
it's not even the same. And for some of my coaches, they were like, "Whoa, that's almost too much." That's almost her confidence level is, and you can see the little smile. She was purposely doing that in relation to the 2016, 15. What was that year? I can't remember what that was.
Yeah,
the year that she took.
Yeah, where she was surprised.
Like she took second. She's like, "What am I doing here?" You're probably all saying,
I think I was like 15.
Yeah.
And in this one, this
one's very different. Yeah, very different.
Yeah, I know. Every event I go out on, I'm expecting to win.
Yeah,
like that kind of attitude.
Yeah, it's a very different Tia.
Oh, yeah.
Very different.
I was gonna say, you couldn't tell.
What do we need to do? Compete against the boys?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah, that she said that.
Like, oh, dang.
She goes, yeah, what's left? Like, compete against the boys?
Yeah. Oh, she's not playing.
Well, that'd be interesting.
Kind of.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in the endurance events, like she
beats them out of the pool, out of the water most times. Yeah.
Almost every time. Yeah. And just seeing like so back to Mariah, one of my favorite shots of all time is seeing our Navy SEAL. What is his name? Oh my gosh, I lost his name. He's one of my favorite CrossFitters.
Bridges.
Seeing
Josh
Bridges. After finishing Murph and crushing, absolutely annihilating Murph, and that's her shot, right? Yeah, that shot, just from a film perspective, massively difficult shot to accomplish. For her on a super long lens, she's probably on a 300, maybe a 500 millimeter lens, keeping focus on the guy running towards her. As she's also panning. I mean, that's
a different perspective.
That woman is an amazing filmmaker. Very, very amazing.
Oh,
I don't like all the things that she says, personally, like her personal life outside of that, but her filmmaking skills, she's amazing. Absolutely
interesting.
Amazing. And the perspective on, Buttery Bros versus her, and like, they did it so much better. And no, it's just a different perspective.
Yeah,
we need to have different perspectives sometimes. It's good. I love some of those old films. I've watched them 40 times. Some of them. Right. But the different perspectives are very important. That's why my gym is not the same as your gym, and your gym is not the same as, blah, blah, blah. Right. Perspectives are good. So anyway,
got to keep it varied.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're CrossFitters, right?
So we'll, I guess I'll announce this week that we're doing a movie night we'll do it on Friday night, I think.
Just wait and see how many people say anything about it if they made it through this long podcast.
11 people are on right now. Yes, I got a code for early preview. And there's just so much going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Awesome.
Well, so James got to put me on the spot. I put him on the spot, and then he put me on the spot at the end. So payback's a bitch. I put Jamie on the spot with why he sold his affiliate. Well done, dude.
I love you guys. You guys are awesome.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate everything you poured into us as a family. Now as affiliate owners, we wouldn't be here without you guys.
Well, we
we
look forward to hanging out with you and doing a lot more together as affiliate owners
for sure.
So
for sure.
it's cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Cheers.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.